think there's a greater margin for error in the preseason, too.
Okay.
Because you say, well, some of these guys may not be able to throw that accurately.
From the 48-yard line, Marion Barber makes a spin move, 7-yard return, and the Cowboys with good field position to start the second half.
And it'll be Tony Romo getting that second half duty here with the Cowboys offense.
In Arizona's end of the field, back to the Valley of the Sun in a moment. Who says there are no Cowboy fans out here? There's Cowboy fans, and you Cowboy fans can call for season tickets right now. Great seat locations available tonight. 214-253-6000. Call right now before the best seats are gone.
There was a time when the Cowboys played here, well, once a year, but played the Cardinals twice, of course, when they were in the NFC East, when there were always more Cowboy fans here than Cardinal fans.
This was really Cowboy country, and Cardinals moved here from St. Louis in 1988. Tony Romo's second possession. Marion Barber with some running room.
Cowboys substituted Torrin Tucker in at right tackle for Jacob Rogers, and if Torrin Tucker wants to make an impression on the head coach, he better go ahead and do it tonight, because he's fallen behind at that right tackle spot. Been working with the third team, and when he was asked about it, Bill talked about what he told the team one day about, if you're inconsistent, then I have to believe that that's what you are, inconsistent. And I think in a veiled way, he was talking about Torrin Tucker.
Tucker made 13 starts for the Cowboys at right tackle last year, but as Mickey said, he's been working with the third team. Nice grab by Brett Pierce on a high throw and a first down for the Cowboys.
Boy, that was a really nice catch. Pierce going way up to get that ball. And, you know, he's a guy that's trying to make this team as the fourth tight end. And Bill Parcells said that it's not impossible for him to keep 4 tight ends on this team.
I really think he's playing his way onto the roster. There's some guys you keep because, well, we got to keep X amount of guys at this position, and this is a guy that, you know, if we need 7 linemen, he's the 7th best. We got to keep him. Brett Pierce is the reverse of that, Mickey. I think you say, hey, we want to keep 3 tight ends, but he is playing so well in camp that you got to find a spot for him.
First down at the 34. Romo to the 25-yard line. That's Quincy Morgan. Catch is good.
Well, I'd like to see a little more urgency in terms of getting those feet down.
I thought he didn't get the second one down there for a second.
It was right on the edge, but it looked like he had no idea that the sideline was coming up on him.
And going back to Brett Pierce, the other thing he can help himself make this team as a 4th tight end is if he proves proficient as an emergency deep snapper.
You might see him deep snapping some tonight. Barber trying to bounce it outside. Shows some good speed. Gets to the 15-yard line. First down.
Well, it's a good thing he got outside, because I would imagine the head coach wouldn't have liked him bouncing it out when he had a chance to cut it up. Kind of get away with that in college, but you usually don't get away with it in the NFL.
Unless perhaps you're playing against second and third teamers on the defense in an NFL preseason game. The Barbers of Minnesota, Marion Barber III, the son of Marion Barber Jr., who played at the University of Minnesota and with the New York Jets. In his final college game, Marion Barber III surpassed his dad on the all-time rushing charts at Minnesota, both in rushing yardage and touchdowns. There's a flag as Barber only got a yard.
Now, are you happy for your son?
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty is still first down.
Who was I talking about? Torrin Tucker. He got beat off the line of scrimmage, and then he compounded his mistake by trying to grab from behind.
Well, the amazing thing, Mickey, is, as you mentioned, he's at third-team tackle right now.
There he is right there.
But the amazing thing is, this was the starter last year. You know, this was the starter who may be playing himself right out of a roster by basically his non-playing.
And they stayed with him last year because they saw some physical talent there, and they're saying, okay, maybe if we just stay with him, he'll understand the game, he'll understand what to do. And it finally got to the point where it was like, you know what? I just don't know if he's going to ever learn the plays or know what to do.
Cowboys quickly to the line of scrimmage.
Now, this play got in late.
Barber flags again. Looks like it's going to be a hold again against the Cowboys.
And you know who was in the area that hold?
It was right tackle area.
Yes.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty remains first down.
Well, maybe he can go for the trifecta here.
I don't mean to
Wow.
belabor the point, but that's what Bill Parcells was talking about at that right tackle position. You have to be consistent. Now, you don't want to be consistently making penalties, but there he is again. It's pretty simple. He's just getting beat off the line of scrimmage.
Well, they've now Torrin Tucker has personally turned a 1st and 10 at the 15 into a 1st and now 30.
I suppose you can't do this, babe, but on the scrimmage, the first scrimmage, I don't know if you were there yet, the offense made a couple penalties in a row. He threw them off the field and brought in the next team.
Right.
So 1st and 30. And now second and
35.
35.
Second at 35.
Okay.
All right.
And that is something that Bill Parcells has harped on through the first 2 weeks of training camp. Penalties on the offense.
Can you call timeout in a game and make them run to the fence?
It has happened in training camp. For the folks that don't know, Parcells, it's like the NFL officials were there, and the one guy said, boy, I've seen some things here that I just don't see in NFL camps. I said, well, you're about to see one more.
Yeah.
That's when he sent him to the fence running and back.
Draw play again and run down from behind is Barber, and more lost yardage.
And that guy just came free. They didn't even touch him.
Well, now, you were at the 15-yard line when this possession started, or the series started here. They were at the 15. Now they need about 10 yards just to get back into field goal range. So now you got to think, you're not concerned about a first down. You won't make it on 3rd and 35. You got to figure out a play to get you 7 to 10 yards here.
And this has been an offensive line that's been pretty good in training camp. Everybody's talking about how they're not making mental mistakes. Well, things seem to be unraveling here quickly with this second line.
Lost 25 yards. Well, there's a flag now.
Oh, come on.
False start against Dallas is the preliminary indication.
The guy should have got up when the guy was on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty is still 3rd down.
Patrick Creighton, one of the wide receivers.
And you should never have a false start by a wide receiver. And undoubtedly, he's looking in. You see him at the top of the screen here. He sees movement by the Cardinals' defensive end.
For a flinch.
He needs to hold his water. He doesn't.
He never moved.
Oh, yes, he did.
Who? Creighton did?
Yeah.
Bent his knee.
He was up at the top of the screen there. He gave it one of these when he saw the defensive end jump.
So now back to the 45. They were at the 15. 30 yards in reverse.
Holding on.
Another flag. Creighton inside the 20. Stretches near the 16. But they're going to go back in their own end of the field, it looks like.
I think he had his choice on who he wanted to call holding on in this one.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty is still 3rd down.
That would be Stephen Peterman, the second-year man out of LSU.
I wonder if that's why the Cardinal helmet is laying on the ground.
It's a pretty good sign. Whoever picks up that helmet is the one that probably forced the penalty. Let's see, there it is. Come on, get it. That's a new Cardinal, by the way. New uniforms, obviously.
Is that like 10 more? Do they finally just decline one here at some point? I guess not.
That's Antonio Smith.
Okay, here we go. And here's Stephen Peterman right there.
Antonio Smith.
And it was Torrin Tucker taking the guy's helmet off.
So now from his own 45, it's 3rd and 50. Incomplete. That is right. It was 3rd and 50 yards needed for a first down.
Is there some record on that?
It's got to be the record.
3rd and 50?
That has got to be close.
I've never seen 3rd and 50 before.
That's bus fare.
Now, you know what's so great, though? When you look over and the coach, and they've got their big, long playlist, and it's about 4 pages long.
For every situation.
Yeah, but you do not have 3rd and 50 on that chart, I can guarantee you.
You do have 4th and 50. That would be punt.
Whoops.
Off the shoulder pad of the return man. He kicks it. And out of bounds at the 1-yard line, Charles Lee. 54-yard turnaround there.
You know, it was the best thing Charles Lee did was run out at the 1 because that has safety written all over it.
So, this preseason game continues in a moment. You ain't seen nothing yet.